Welcome to our channel. Today, we're going to summarize The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain, chapters 21 to 43. Chapter 21. The Duke and the King attempt to scam a wealthy family out of their inheritance, but their plan is foiled by a group of angry townspeople. Huck and Jim are able to escape once again, but the situation leaves Huck feeling conflicted about his role in the ongoing deception. Chapter 23. Huck and Jim come across a wrecked steamboat and discover that a group of thieves are holed up inside. Huck decides to sneak aboard the ship to gather information, but he is captured by the thieves. Jim is able to rescue Huck, and the two flee the scene. Chapter 24. Huck and Jim's raft is hit by a steamboat, and the two are separated. Huck ends up in the town of Pikesville, where he pretends to be Tom Sawyer in order to avoid suspicion. Huck discovers that Jim is being held captive in the town, and he decides to rescue him. Chapter 25. Huck and Tom Sawyer hatch a plan to rescue Jim, which involves Tom pretending to be his brother, Sid. The plan goes awry when Tom is shot in the leg, and Huck is forced to come up with a new plan to escape. Chapter 26. Huck and Jim are able to escape from their captors, but they soon discover that Tom's leg is badly injured. Huck goes to town to seek medical help, but he is forced to flee when he realizes that he is being pursued. Chapter 27. Huck and Jim continue their journey down the river, but their raft is hit by a steamboat once again. This time, Jim is able to swim to safety, but Huck is separated from him and ends up in the hands of the Shepherdsons, a rival family to the Grangerfords. Chapter 28. Huck is taken in by the Shepherdsons, and he is surprised to discover that they are as violent and dangerous as the Grangerfords. Huck is able to escape and reunite with Jim, and the two continue on their journey down the river. Chapter 29. Huck and Jim come across a group of men who are searching for runaway slaves, and Huck is once again forced to come up with a disguise in order to avoid detection. The two continue their journey down the river, but Huck is plagued by guilt over his role in helping Jim escape. Chapter 30. Huck and Jim's journey down the river comes to an end when they reach the town of Phelps, where they discover that Jim has been captured and is being held in the local shed. Huck decides to rescue Jim once and for all, and he hatches a plan to free him. Chapter 31. Huck is able to free Jim, but the two are forced to flee the town when they are discovered. They come across a group of men searching for runaway slaves, but they are able to escape and continue their journey down the river. Chapter 32. Huck and Jim's journey down the river comes to an end when they finally reach the free state of Ohio. Huck is forced to make a difficult decision about his future, and he ultimately decides to strike out on his own and explore the world. Chapter 33. Huck reflects on his journey and the lessons he has learned along the way. He realizes that he has grown and matured as a result of his experiences with Jim, and he decides that he would rather be a lowly, humble person than a wealthy and powerful one. Chapter 34. Huck learns that Tom Sawyer has arrived in the town of St. Petersburg, and he goes to visit him. Tom and Huck hatch a plan to help Jim escape from slavery once and for all, but their plan is unnecessarily complicated and dangerous. Chapter 35. Tom and Huck put their plan into action, but things quickly go awry. Tom is shot in the leg and Jim is recaptured, but Tom's Aunt Sally reveals that Jim has been freed by his rightful owner and is no longer a slave. Chapter 36. The king and the duke continue their scheme and decide to impersonate British relatives of Peter Wilkes to get their hands on his inheritance. Huck is disgusted by their behavior and tries to warn Mary Jane, but is unsuccessful. Chapter 37, The king and the duke carry out their plan and try to steal Peter Wilkes' money. However, they are caught by angry townspeople who believe them to be frauds. Chapter 38, The king and the duke are tarred and feathered and chased out of town. Huck escapes with Jim and they continue their journey down the river. Chapter 39, Huck and Jim come across a sinking steamboat and help rescue 3 criminals. One of them, a man named George, tries to steal Jim's freedom and sell him back into slavery. Chapter 40, Huck decides to play a trick on Jim and tells him that the events of the previous night were just a dream. Jim is hurt and disappointed, and Huck feels guilty. Chapter 41, A heavy storm damages Huck and Jim's raft, and they are separated. Huck is taken in by the Grangerford family, who are involved in a long-standing feud with the Shepherdson family. Chapter 42, Huck gets caught up in the violence of the feud between the Grangerfords and the Shepherdsons, and witnesses several deaths. He eventually reunites with Jim and they escape down the river. Chapter 43, Huck and Jim are tricked by the king and the duke again, who have caught up to them in their travels. The king and the duke sell Jim back into slavery, and Huck is left to ponder his conscience and decide whether or not to help Jim escape again. Overall, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn is a classic coming-of-age story that follows Huck's journey as he grapples with issues of morality, social justice, and personal identity. Along the way, he forms a close bond with Jim, a runaway slave, and learns to see beyond the prejudices and biases of his society. The novel also offers a searing critique of the institution of slavery and the hypocrisies of the antebellum South, and it continues to be a relevant and important work of literature today. Thanks for watching. To read the full version of the book, click on the link in the description below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for similar content.